Hello world. Want to know how well the MacBook Pro M1 handles Ableton? Let's get started. With my old MacBook Pro on its last legs, I decided to splash out on a brand new top-of-the-range Intel MacBook Pro. But only a few days later, Apple announced the new MacBook Pro M1, so I bought one of those too. Now, I'm not made of money, so I arranged to return the Intel-based Mac, of course. But it meant that I had the opportunity to put both the brand new top-of-the-range Intel and M1 MacBook Pro through the same set of tests and see how they compare running Ableton. How exciting! It's worth explaining here that I won't be comparing Ableton CPU meter or the Mac activity monitor, as the meaning of these numbers depends very much on the way each computer operates. And since both MacBooks use completely different processors and architectures, I didn't want to start speculating on how these values reflect the actual performance. Instead, I'll be doing a few simple but meaningful real-world tests using this project file. It's typical of what you might see in any project. Plenty of audio tracks, MIDI tracks, Ableton devices, groups, sidechain, third-party plugins like Serum and Omnisphere, and even a master bus with an instance of iZotope Ozone. Each MacBook is also hooked up to an audio interface, external monitor, Ethernet port, and external hard drives, all through a Thunderbolt hub. It was important to me that these tests really reflect each laptop's ability to handle all these additional loads, which we often use as producers, and not just Ableton standalone. For each test, we'll have Intel on the left and M1 on the right.
Bring them both together, we got juking all night.
Let's begin. Round 1. Project load time. Let's start by opening the project and see how long it takes to load on each Mac. 3, 2, 1. So it's off to a strong start for the M1, but we're only just getting warmed up. Next, let's move to round 2, track freeze time. Now let's compare how fast each laptop can freeze the same audio track. Let's try this track. I'll speed this up just to save us all some time. A last-second spurt from the Intel Mac just pips the M1 to the post there. Let's take the test up a notch and throw in multiple MIDI tracks this time. Serum, Omnisphere, and a bunch of other processing thrown in for good measure. Again, a win for the Intel Mac. So it looks like there's a bit of work to be done to improve the M1 when it comes to freezing tracks. But remember, we're comparing the highest spec 13-inch Intel MacBook that money can buy against the highest spec 13-inch M1 MacBook that money can buy, which is considerably cheaper. Not to mention that Ableton hasn't yet been rewritten to run natively on Apple Silicon. Not too shabby when you look at it like that. Round 3. Project export time. Next, we'll compare exporting the entire project. Once again, the giant 32GB Intel i7 just beating out the M1. Probably not surprising, as I imagine freezing and exporting are very similar processes. But there's still one more important test to look at. Round 4. Buffer size. And so we come to the final test. How far can we reduce the buffer size and improve latency before the playback quality starts to suffer? So far, both projects have been running at a buffer size of 512 no problem. But let's see how far we can push it, starting with 256. both Intel and M1 still sounding as clean as a whistle. Fantastic. How about 128? So now we can just about start to hear the occasional glitch here on the Intel Mac, but it's definitely still usable. And how about the M1? Well, there's no sign of it giving up just yet. Okay, let's keep going. 64? Yep, that's just one step too far for the Intel Mac. And what about the M1? Wow, now that's impressive. An entire finished project running at a buffer size of only 64, with Ozone on the master, an external display, audio interface. Not to mention I'm recording my screen and audio for this video, and that feisty M1 is taking it all like a champion. Alright, let's do one final push. 32, just for the fun of it. First the Intel Mac. Well, now we've just got dubstep. And the M1? Yeah, that's finally given up too. So, let's summarize. While the M1's freeze and export time in Ableton don't quite match up to the top-of-the-range Intel model, the project load time and minimum buffer size are on another level. And there's one more important thing to mention. In every single test here, I didn't hear the fan on the M1 turn on once. The Intel model was whizzing like crazy on many of these tests, which can be a real pain if you're recording audio. So if you've been looking for some practical metrics on how the M1 MacBook Pro fares in Ableton against even the highest spec Intel model, I hope this video was useful. And if you'd like to support this channel, please consider hitting the like and subscribe button below. It really spurs me on to keep making these videos and share the things I learn with you all. Click.